All right, says we're live. Let's give it a couple seconds.
I'm gonna be imposed the whole time until Jox takes the photo.
I should probably do that now then. All right,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hold pose. I couldn't.
Looking at Crispy made me laugh.
Oh, man, I'm gonna have the same problem, and I can't have the door open because these fucking dogs. Can you hear me?
You're staticky on the line in the headphone, but
no,
on my mic, you're good. Maple.
Shut up.
Okay.
This might be a nightmare of an episode. We'll see. Can you hear me?
I like I said, in the ear, not that much. You're staticky. This ear through this headphone and mic. I mean, the speaker here. I can hear you.
All right, Jerry, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Welcome to BatYard's Finest, bringing you the finest of Batman and Superman and more in pop culture. Today, I am your host, Josh. We're going to be discussing Dracula 1931 and Ed Wood 1994 for today's subjects. We'll go in order.
What's up? I'm Matt from Gotham. How you guys doing?
Hello, all. I'm Jerry. Still your Green Lantern from Ola.
How's it going, guys?
Doing good.
It's going good. It's going good. It's cold now.
I know. It's
like
horrible.
20 degrees out right now.
It's freaking horrible.
We're going to go for a snowfall today. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's always snowing here. It's what the hell? What are you gonna do? But I was hoping for this to be rain. I wasn't expecting freaking snow. I was hoping for the lies.
Rain and freaking rain.
Well, it's a mixture.
I'd rather just have rain when it's 70 degrees so it doesn't do anything else.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, it's snow and rain, so it's gonna be garbage anyway. So.
Yeah, so it's sleet? Oh, that's garbage.
Yeah. It's a nice slush.
That's
you
super
know where
garbage.
you are at all, Jerry? Do you get any?
So it's like I'm in a valley. So I'm in between two mountains.
I see.
What's that supposed to mean?
So we get ice before we get snow, but we do see it from time to time.
Okay. At least you know what it is. Unlike the Darians.
The ancestral children of Andrew Jackson.
Yeah. He's been coming up a lot.
Tis the season.
So I only have one BSBS news. Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, has passed on to the great beyond. He went Batman Beyond. I think November 11th on Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Which I was very surprised. I guess he was battling cancer for quite some time. Yeah. Luckily, I was one of the. I had luckily during like my lifetime, I got to talk to him, interview him, have a conversation. I got his autograph, and it's definitely something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. So, thank you, Kevin Conroy, for taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah, I'm super jealous because I've been seeing like everybody post stuff where they got to meet him, and I'm like, man, if only people would come to friggin' Tennessee, that could be me. Like I've met, celebrities and actors from our childhood and everything, but never. I always wanted to meet Kevin Conroy, and I guess I'll pass him on my way to the great beyond and whatnot. It was very surprising because it wasn't confirmed by Google at the time, because I just saw people talking about it on social media, and I was like, this sounds kind of fishy, like what they tried to do in the past with saying Jackie Chan had passed on. So I was like, I'm not believing this until I see Google confirm it. And then when I saw it, I was like, wow, this was a really sad day. He was
I was
he
so
was the greatest.
I was so thrown off
Still
by
is the
it
greatest.
because like Jimmy texted us about it. Then Jimmy texted us, and then Josh texted me about it, and I was just really confused of what was happening. I'm like, "What are you guys talking about?" I was at work, and I'm just like, "What the fuck's happening?" And I had to do what Jerry did. I was like, "Where the fuck's my Google at for this shit to confirm?" And I'm just like, I'm like looking back and forth. I'm like, he wasn't that old. It was just so weird. And
No.
I didn't even look into
Yeah.
it 100%, like, I just confirmed he died, like, how did he even like, what happened?
I
I
think he
just said
was
he was
battling
battling
cancer.
cancer. Yeah, he was battling
Oh.
cancer for quite some time. Weren't
Oh,
you paying
shit.
attention?
I missed the battling cancer. I missed the battling cancer.
We anyway,
Yeah,
yeah, it
it's
sucks. I'm just glad I had the chance to talk to him, and he's, like, definitely my quintessential Batman. Like, when I read comic books, that's the voice that I read in my head, like, he's the
yeah.
best Batman,
Mm.
hands down.
That's like Mark Hamill being the Joker. I like there's other great Jokers, but Mark Hamill, he'll always be the Joker to me.
Yeah, yeah,
True.
exactly, and luckily they're on the same show, so, like, the best
Yeah.
Batman and the best Joker were together. But yeah, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Um, so, yeah, I know you had some news.
I got some news that's like actually, well, I got was it me and Jerry both saw two movies we can probably do a quick touch up on. But what's it called? The big news that I kind of have is Disney is slowly liquidating itself from employees because they're losing money and bad decisions
What?
like Warner Brothers.
How is
They're
Disney losing money?
they fucked up. Let's just say they fucked
Wait,
up
I
with
didn't know that.
movies. Yeah,
That's insane to me.
they're solely firing employees because of like fuck ups they did, and they're killing projects off. Like their most important project right now is was the reboot of Pirates of the Caribbean with an
Yeah,
all
I heard about
female
that.
role cast. Gone. They canceled it. It's canned now. Everyone's not mad about it, but everyone's thinking maybe they're gonna just try to keep expanding off of that universe and try to get Johnny back again. But we still haven't heard any word about that. But they canned a giant project that's probably would have been like a three movie thing,
Wow.
and that's gone. And then Indiana Jones is hitting a fucking brick wall
Good. As it
because
should. As it should.
Yeah,
Because right now it's hit they had 5 different freaking endings. Nobody's liked any one of them. So they don't know what the hell they're gonna do with it.
Scrap it.
And people are thinking that they may just throw it on Disney Plus for shits and giggles because it's basically done. They just have to choose which shitty ending they wanna do. And then Indiana Jones is supposed to get a mini series, but we don't know what's going to happen yet until it's confirmed that it's getting in the mini series, but we don't know what's going to if the tides are going to turn if like this movie does drop and we all fucking hate it like everyone else has been seeing it is already doing, and so like it could get canned also. But it looks like Disney's been pulling some here and there stuff with their deals and stuff, and it's not working out. So they're just doing cleanup work now.
so what were one of the endings for, like, what were the endings for Indiana
I
Jones?
have not dug into any of these endings. I recently just found out about these like the five. There's five endings, and people are not agreeing to any one of them that have seen the
Oof.
cuts.
That's
I'm
that's a
gonna look
troublesome
into them
thing.
because I want to know. But this is the
What
same
if
thing they
time
did with
travel is one ending?
no. No.
What if they do time travel and they go back and try to do Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Just stop. Just stop. We don't need CGI Indy with real Indy. Like, you
I didn't
are.
hear. You know what? I read a rumor that time travel was implemented in like the
We'll
script,
find out once it happens.
which sounds terrible.
Knock it off, you. Knock it off. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's like Star Wars. We had the like 3 multiple endings for the last was it the Rise of Skywalker, and we got a what we had 3 movie endings, and they combined all 3 movie endings into one fucking movie ending
And it
and
was
sent it off.
absolutely fantastic.
So
10 out of 10.
You
like
really
Star
like to
Wars.
hurt me. You really like to hurt me. You do. You fucking do. I hope you drop
I
your
never,
coffee.
I never need to
Yeah,
see
I'm
those
not
movies
dropping
ever
my
again.
coffee
Okay.
because it's piping hot.
What, Josh?
I never need to see those movies ever again.
No, not at all.
They don't exist.
No.
That's very surprising. I didn't know that there was that many endings, and the fact that they can't agree to one is.
It's
I think that's basically gonna say it's gonna get canceled, and if it gets greenlit, I think it's just gonna go right to streaming.
the thing is like that Kathy Kennedy is like part of it, and she's the reasoning why there's so many endings to the Star Wars and like the last movie. So I have a feeling that she's part of this again, and she's doing it again. So I don't like. She's been causing trouble with all the movies she's been attached to for a while now. So let's just see what fucking happens. You know, she killed Star Wars for me, so let's see her
What do you
kill
mean?
Indy for me.
She brought in a new generation of Star Wars fans by making everybody watch the old ones.
Oh god, I've heard. Oh well, one of my coworkers. Oh god, one of my coworkers is stating that okay, whatever feedback I'm getting back in my other ear is hurting my ear. I was gonna do that. Uh, my coworkers are stating that the Harrison Ford may kill Indy off in this movie, like he did
I
with
did
like
hear that, and then like some girl's gonna take over or something
yeah.
stupid.
So we'll see what
Hmm.
happens with that one.
I don't have too much news. It's small because like Crispy said with Indiana Jones, I just saw that Warner Brothers canceled all the new Fantastic Beast movies.
Did they?
Yeah, and I just saw that I think earlier today or maybe late yesterday, which I'm
Wow.
kind of sad about because I personally liked the two movies. Like, I don't think they're fantastic by any means.
You didn't think the Fantastic
No
Beast was
pun on the movie.
fantastic?
I thought it was all right and enjoyable.
Okay, so all right, Fantastic Beast.
It I'm thinking that they're kind of doing this to, cover some of the loss that they got from absorbing, Warner Brothers Discovery, did by absorbing Warner Brothers. So they're trying to make some things a little bit better as far as loss. I saw that Shang-Chi officially has his next movie on the way to be coming.
More Mandarin.
Oh, it's
All right.
what is it? I think it has something to do with time travel. I scrolled by
He
so
time
quick.
travels too. What else
I
can he
scrolled
do?
by it so quick. I'm probably
Oh god.
misremembering this, but I know he's getting another one because I saw
All right.
Shang-Chi and then new movie.
I heard 50-50 with that movie, so if he makes a decent amount, like a 50 like about 50-50, he's guaranteed basically another movie, so all right.
Um, what else? It was one other important thing. I knew I should have written it down.
Mm,
Um, But those are the main two. If I remember the third one, I'll just interject it at the
All
end.
right. Let me take the stage until you remember. Me and Jerry both saw the movie One Piece Film Red in theaters opening night, and that shit was freaking amazing. I went at my time at 4:20 for dubbing, and Jerry went, I believe, at everyone's standard universal time, 7 o'clock for the sub.
No, I saw
And
Dope.
oh, you saw dub too? Oh, what your dub is at around 7? I thought you went.
It was weird because on that particular day, they only had like 3 time slots for
Uh huh.
dub, and there was another slot earlier for like 350, but there was no way that
Mm.
me and my friend could have made that.
What was it called? Me? Oh, that's right. Now you brought that up. I did check my times later that like day, and I did see that we had more times later. When me and my group pre-ordered our tickets, it was like one showing, and that was it. 4:20, done. And
Mhm.
then, but I'm not gonna lie, this movie for like an anime movie was pretty fucking good,
Yeah.
and CGI in it pretty top notch for a anime movie. There's only a couple here and there hiccups they did, and it's just basically because this is more musical and fighting. So
Mhm.
it was like the beginning of the movie was a concert. So they did like pulled out all the CGI for that concert piece. And then the rest of it was just like kind of here and there, like fill in like fill in spots of CGI. It wasn't overly gross with it at later on in the movie.
Yeah, I agree. Because I had to see it in 4DX because that was like the only time that would have worked. So it was, but even still within that, when the concert was going on, it was like a nice like roller coaster ride. You got shaken up a little bit. It
But
wasn't
Trey didn't feel that way.
horrifically bad. Well, I can't speak for him. I was more balanced.
Okay.
I definitely did get a couple of cases of whiplash toward the middle of it.
Okay.
But even as a main focus of musical anime,
Hmm.
it was like I dislike musicals. Like I'm not a musical fan at all. But I know when this movie comes to Blu-ray, I'm getting it.
I'm buying it.
I'm
The soundtrack was amazing. The
Yes.
freaking fights were
The
great.
plot, everything, just even some of the CGI moments they did toward the end with
Hmm.
the big reveals, I was like, I've never seen a One Piece movie, so this is my first one. And some of the anime CGI I've seen, it looks like small soldiers. And I was like, oh, this is like they were still rough because CGI is always gonna look like
Oh yeah.
Play-Doh
There's
cast in Looney Tunes.
there's one part where she's floating in the fucking air. The main main new character they're dropping in this movie called Uta, and there's a part where she goes floats in the air for for a song, and it's like golden light, and she just looks like clay, and it's just like
Hmm.
okay, there's the bad CGI moments.
But I would definitely recommend, like, even if you don't know anything about, the One Piece story,
Hmm.
or you're not a big anime, like, movie fan in general, I think anyone would enjoy this because it was a constant flow. Nothing took a slack, too
Hmm.
far to slow down. Like there were
It
some
kept
moments where I was like, I wish this particular scene, would speed up, but that's just a personal preference.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way with you in that, but it was just like whatever. And like I just went through it, but like I kind of like I just want to jump to like one in the beginning of the movie you get to see like cameo they did pay attention to like some like different errors like main people like they dressed up certain characters in like outfits of like certain like musicians. Like we had Gene Simmons for Usopp.
For Usopp. I
Jinbei
was gonna
was
ask you about that. I'm like,
that was
was
Gene
he dressed as
Simmons.
Gene
He had
Simmons?
Yeah, then you had Jinbei, this giant fish man that was a freaking Elvis Presley. Then you had a few other people dressed up as like other people, but I couldn't tell, but they're different eras. And then you get Frankie walking in with the boombox set up.
Yes. And then definitely one thing that, well, that's not one thing, but one aspect of the movie that the creator Ichiro Oda always does good on is how he does his fashion.
Hmm.
Because when they, at the very end, when it's the final battle, when all the characters got their new punk
New
outfit,
gear. Yeah.
I was like, this is what I wanted. When I heard that this was gonna be musically based, I was like, oh, it would be cool if they did, like a couple of punk outfits.
Not gonna
And
lie.
everybody got one.
Hmm.
That was so good. And everybody's style of punk was unique to their character.
Yes. I wish Frankie didn't have his. Whatever.
Oh,
Frankie's my fave, so I'm gonna have to get his figure though.
why was this a musical? I never knew One Piece as a
The
musical.
One Piece is actually pretty. I'm not like Jerry's the bigger fan because he reads it. I watch it just because of characters, but there is a here and there characters that do add music into the universe. Like the main Straw Hat character, like crewmates, is Brooke, and he's the musician. He's the bard. He brings everybody up when like on the ship and everything.
Hmm.
And this one, for some reason, they have this one girl that eats this. Everybody has an ability they get from a fruit, and this special fruit. Hers was called the Sing Sing fruit, and she basically gets the power to sing, but she puts you in a trance. So it hypnotizes you and brings you to a universe that she owns and controls. So as long as she's awake, this universe will start happening, and she's trying to make a better world for all these people that are her fans. Because when she came up to a lot like the Star Life, she was performing in front of people on like a streaming service of One Piece, whatever
It
style.
was essentially be kind of like their version of our YouTube.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so she was like trying to reach out for all these people that are having troubles in their life, downtime with themselves, like going through major issues, and they needed somewhere else to basically free themselves. And she was trying to do that. And the way she did it, she thought was the right way, but it's definitely the wrong way. And it would end up killing her and everybody actually tied into the midst of this.
Hmm.
So, it was a double-headed sword going at it, but she had a good meant like a she was
She had a
thinking
good
everybody.
idea,
Yeah,
but how she was going to execute it
was
is
failing.
what made it very villainous.
Yes.
Because it
Okay.
was it's like how some stars want to, give like people around the world a beacon of hope, through music, because you can't imagine life without music,
Mhm.
because everything has a natural rhythm to it. Like even, like the heart itself, it's got a beat, and like, in the dead of night, or when it's real quiet, you can hear your heartbeat, or even, you can hear the a heartbeat, when you hug a friend or somebody. And that's what she was trying to do, give, through all the negativity of, the oppression of the world government, the infamy of evil pirates. She wanted people around the world to have, like that cohesive peace that they could
Mhm.
all hold on to when times get hard. Almost like how, um oh
Mhm.
god, I wish I could think of the artist who like Prince,
Song.
like how
Oh,
never, like people have, like that really, really down awful day, they'll cut on their favorite Prince song
Mhm.
and it'll uplift their spirits.
I see. Okay.
so that was like
That's kinda cool.
the flow of the movie, and like the music. it kind of like music didn't stay the same. It always had a different tone and different way of going at it with it. We had the nice upbeats, we had the heavier beats, we had the nice stay like soft and toned beats they had, or they had like at least two of each style that I just mentioned throughout the
Hmm.
movie. And then this got random background music that was actually pretty nice.
The entire score for me is like it is
It's a
perfect. I would not change a singular
Nope.
thing.
I
And as
love
an
it.
overall, I would rate the movie a solid 9. I'm
Mhm.
not, I'm not saying I wouldn't give it a 10 because I would, but like first time seeing, a One Piece movie, especially like a musical anime movie, I'm like, I'm thoroughly impressed. I wouldn't change too much just outside of, personal preference.
Mhm. I I give it like a 9. I give it a 9 also because of certain CGI moments that threw me off that I did not like. Everything else to me felt nice. The quality of the animation looked great. Um, music. They didn't have like a too many stupid moments. For like usually One Piece is full of stupid. This is
It's very
more.
goofy.
This
This
is
was
like
very
yeah. This is more
serious, start to
straightforward,
finish.
but you do have a goofy spot here and there. But it's like more like, all right, we just gotta get this shit done because we don't have time because technically the main villainess, she's already killing herself prior the concert and stuff in the midst because like she's keeping herself awake by eating this special mushroom that keeps you awake for 24 hours.
Hmm. And the more she took, the more,
Toxic
demented,
and
aggressive, and, it just took her on a downward spiral
yeah, it's the
with the
wrong
side
trip.
effects of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you recommend it for, like, a novice like me who knows nothing about
Yeah.
any of
Yeah,
this
if it to
stuff?
me, like yeah, to me, like, you don't need to know the characters that well to
I just
go
know
into
there's some
this.
reindeer turns into the Hulk or
That's
something.
Chopper. Chopper
Tony,
doesn't
Boku wa Dokta,
Dude, my coworker
Tony
Josh starts singing that
Chopper.
to me, like, 5 times a day. Stop. He's like a
It
Chopper fan. A super fanboy, and he
You
doesn't even
gotta be the
watch
fan than
One
me.
Piece. His first One
I w
Piece is the movie, and he just loves Chopper. There's no reason to it other than that.
I will say, Josh, like, not like, even if I wasn't into One Piece as much as I am now, it's such a good and straightforward movie, like start to finish. When you get
Mhm.
in, you already get the feeling like, oh, this is gonna be kind of serious because you see people talking about, I'm tired of, living in poverty. I'm tired of having to pay these high taxes to the government.
Yeah.
I'm tired of having my home attacked and everything.
They
So
said
they've already set a very serious tone,
mhm.
and the movie matches
That's
it
pretty
like at
okay. At
every
least has a
scene.
good message.
Yeah, like the tone, like Jerry said, they set a good tone for the movie. I thought it was gonna be a propaganda bullshit tone that they're gonna
I
go
thought it
off
was
in
gonna
the
be pretty
beginning
goofy.
because, like, I thought it was gonna be like a
Yeah,
stupid, like
that's
the
what I would
military
expect.
is like using like like faking this video stuff, and then we get the actual shit that happens. But no, that's like all legitimate, like tone setting for you. That's like why this character's doing all this stuff for you.
And even when you fully understand everything, you're like, I understand why they did it. It doesn't make me like I feel sorry they went through this experience, but as an overall, it doesn't change my opinion of them, of the
Hmm.
villainous. And I like that because I don't want to feel sorry for a villain or a hero. If you have something tragic that makes you that way and helps me understand you, that adds another layer
Yo,
outside of what I'm normally accustomed to.
Uta is like I felt bad for her. I'm not gonna lie. She was the villain,
Yeah.
and but I felt bad because A, she was thinking she was doing the right thing. B, at one point you find out everything that she was technically believing in ends up becoming a fucking like a false storyline. and then B, she sets off a freaking chain reaction of like events prior of all this stuff, like prior to the actual movie that causes more shit to happen in the future. It's just like she has an accidental issue that causes like all this bullshit that she doesn't mean to happen. Bye, Josh.
I'm here.
Okay, but I'm what?
Okay.
But I'm
I have 2 ESBS news before we get into, the main events, unless you guys had more to say about One
I
Piece.
just want to throw in one more
Mm,
thing that wasn't One Piece related. Unless Jerry, you have anything else for One Piece?
um, I don't have any. I do have something, but Crispy, that's non BSBS related. Like
Okay,
it's just something I need to text you about.
got it. Um, I was gonna throw in one more thing. Jerry was supposed to go see this also with me. It was the movie mystery, Monday movie mystery at Regal. The movie was called Spirited. It's a Christmas Carol, just twisted to a different extent to it. And it was a musical also. Oh, it was very good. It was a really good comedy as Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, and a few other great actors I can't name on top of my head at the moment. They just take Tracy Morgan was actually in it too. I can't believe I forgot him. Um, they just take the Christmas Carol and they just make their own little twist. And it's supposed to be a corporation that's in the spirit in the between world, and it's supposed to pick a Scrooge every year and try to change that Scrooge right around Christmas, like how the Christmas Carol does it. Every year they have to do this. They do this whole routine, and what's it called? Will Ferrell is the main guy that runs this show basically, and he picks Ryan Reynolds as the Scrooge, and Ryan Reynolds takes Will Ferrell on a fucking ride. Well, Will Ferrell was supposed to take this motherfucker on a ride, but no, Ryan Reynolds said, "No, it's
This is
my
live
show now."
action?
It's a live action. It finds out these movie mysteries on like a Mondays for Regals that are once a month that's been happening lately is all Apple TV movies, and this
Oh
is
yeah.
only on
Oh
Apple
yeah.
TV. If you have Apple TV, you can get to see this movie. And I give it a decent like 8 and like yeah, decent 8. I'm not gonna go crazy on it, but to me, I enjoyed the whole thing.
Oh,
I enjoyed. It was like it has ups and downs, but it does great.
I don't like Ryan Reynolds. I find him irritating.
Yeah, I get it, but like it's pretty good. I enjoyed like he does his thing, his comedy, his acting is not junk, but he throws in his singing. And like he does sing in the movie. And so is Will Ferrell. And they've both been like putting out like videos on Instagram and bullshitting together prior to all this for singing. So like I just realized to this movie came out, like that's what they're promoting together was this movie. Well, they had like it wasn't bad. It worked together. If you want to see a crazy ride of a Christmas Carol, go see this movie. I for like a out of a was it a group of 4 people, we all enjoyed it.
I'd rather watch Scrooge with Bill Murray if I'm gonna watch a twisted Christmas Carol.
I don't
I don't
know.
like
It's something new.
Ryan Reynolds. I don't like a lot of movies. I think they all suck.
Oh,
Is Jerry here?
you never
Can
had
Jerry come
Jerry. Jerry got
add
never got
Jerry?
added.
Um, well, I'll just go into my news.
All right, go in your
So
news.
they're making a Santa Claus TV
Oh,
show series with Tim Allen called The Santa Clauses. Gonna be released on Disney Plus, so look forward to
yeah,
that.
I saw it. I saw
That
that.
sounds really good.
It's gonna
Um,
be terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
no, it looks terrible. The last one was terrible. The second one was terrible. The only one that's like semi decent is the first one, and that's not even a good movie. We're talking about the Santa Claus, Jerry. If you didn't pick
Oh
Tim Allen
no!
Santa.
that up. With Tim Allen. I almost said Tim Burton.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Um,
Honestly, if it was Tim Burton, I could at least get some nice effects and scenery that I would like.
yeah.
It's just
But I'm
I
gonna
agree.
hold my comment about Tim Allen's Santa Claus.
Yeah,
not,
that's another day. That's another discussion.
by the looks of everything, they're bringing back mostly everybody that they had from the original movies, the original
Who's
3
alive?
movies. Yeah, so I know a few elves are coming back from the original series. I don't know if he's gonna get his kid, his ex-wife, and all them people back, but as of now, people from the North Pole definitely a lot of them are coming back.
So they're gonna have Michael Keaton do a Snowman too?
Oh my god, the Jack Frost shit.
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost too.
I would much
Yeah.
rather have that because that's at least funny.
No, you hurt
Yeah, I
me.
don't even know if that was funny. It was just like I remember when we watched it last year. It was just like more depressing.
Yeah, it was definitely depressing. Back when we were
The
kids, it
CGI
was
was
fun.
bad. That's what made it funny.
Yeah. I just have one piece of news before we end BSBS. We're this Saturday at Fishkill, New York. We are going to be at Independent Artists and Comic Book Convention. So you get to see some of the BatYard crew. I don't know who's officially going to be there. I'm definitely going to be there, and some other stragglers. So come visit us, say hi, come to the table, and we'll put you in the video. Um,
You
so
can get
look
an
forward to that.
autograph before we get famous.
Yeah, get an autograph from me, and then if you want Jerry to come to the next one, you guys gotta give us the funds. So help us out.
You have to super
GoFundMe
chat each
page.
of us $100.
Yeah.
We're doing a GoFundMe page. It's gonna be down below somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta go to Tennessee to the next Tennessee Comic Con,
Oh
whatever
god.
that is.
I think ours is in August or September.
Yeah,
'Cause,
usually the best ones are like in the summer. There's a couple. There's Rhode Island Comic Con that just happened, and
We need to go
Saratoga.
back
look
to
that up.
We have to figure that out. We need to go back to that one. That
Rhode
was
Island
fun.
is nice. It's like
That
big enough
was
but small enough at the same time.
if it's still at the
Um,
was it Dunkin' Donut Center? Whatever the Dunkin'
yeah, I
Dunkin'
think
Donut
it's
Center.
in Providence.
What?
Our Comic Con is June 3rd through 4th, which is right before my birthday.
Oh, cool.
Happy birthday to you, Jerry, with that one.
So just look forward to me hosting some solo interviews from Nashville Comic Con, so you guys can see the cosplay life down here.
That'd be cool, man.
God.
Wow.
Then
Yeah.
what's it called? After that, well, Jerry knows. Freaking me and Billy, me and my friend Billy, and our friend Rihanna, we're going to. Hopefully, we can get tickets properly when they get announced. The Anime Expo in Los Angeles.
You're going to LA?
It looks like
What
it.
the fuck?
They suckered me into this.
Huh.
So I'm gonna go.
You didn't get suckered. You wanted to go. You
I
wanted to
do
go to
want to
LA.
go. No, I did not want to go to LA. I want to go to the expo, but not LA.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to California. Again.
You want to go with us?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really give two shits about anime though.
It doesn't matter.
We can all go to Alcatraz and escape like those three dudes.
You keep bringing this up.
I'd rather go to Alcatraz. 100%. I'd rather go to Alcatraz, and I'd rather see the La Brea tar pits in LA. That's the number one thing I want to see in Los Angeles. Is the tar pits.
we are discussing on like what other things we want to do other than just go to the con for 4 days.
Take 6 days off. I'll meet you there for 2.
Okay.
And we're going to Alcatraz.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go to. If you want to go to Alcatraz, you basically got to sign up for it now because I remember I was in
It sells out quick.
Yeah, San Francisco, and I was there with my dad, and we're like, "Oh yeah, let's check out Alcatraz." You literally have to do it like 6 months in advance or something
It's
ridiculous.
awful.
Oh, Josh, you bring up the tar pits. Finds out the tar pits are leaking out into the streets of Los Angeles.
Good.
What?
Now,
That's crazy.
Just
yeah,
submerged the whole city in tar.
it's randomly me and my dad were like on on YouTube, and we're just going around. My dad just likes watching the news on YouTube, and he clicked on Los Angeles tar pits flooding the streets, and there's small little deposits starting to appear throughout the city, like nearby it. So we'll see what happens.
Wow.
Yeah, like people doing cleanup crew.
Yeah, so that's all the BS I have. Maybe we could figure out the logistics of whatever this anime thing is some other time.
Alright.
So let's shoot this fucker and talk about uh Dracula, 1931, starring Bela Lugosi. Um, I guess who directed this? Todd Browning and Carl Frednew. I'm probably saying that wrong. We're gonna go with Tony Hawk. Alcatraz's best level. What the fuck?
Thank you, Janelle.
Yeah.
Thank you, Janelle.
That is the best level.
It is one of the best levels.
That's Tony Hawk. Which one is it? 4?
I think that's 2.
I thought that was 3.
Is it 3?
It's one of those.
No, it is 3 because I own 3 now. We played it at your old apartment.
Oh,
Josh.
yeah,
It was 3.
Okay. Anyway, who wants to talk about Dracula?
Jerry?
I'll talk about Dracula.
Okay.
So before I get into Dracula, I just want to throw this out there. So I've actually seen clips of this movie. I just never realized it was Dracula because he was never on screen.
Oh.
And I would be fucking like inebriated as all get out, and I'm just sitting here watching 20 minutes and then I'm passed out.
Oh god.
But I digress. So this is Dracula 1931, I believe.
3.
Yep.
This is about Dracula finding a mate, doing some murder, causing some havoc, and essentially trying to steal a man's wife from fiance, not wife, girlfriend.
Mia.
His steady partner, I guess would be the accurate thing to say, for away from him because he is lonely and desires companionship. He has a servant whose name I can't remember. I'll just call him the guy because that's what he really was. Renfield, the guy.
Yeah.
He was he a werewolf or was he just playing the part? Because I know they mentioned it, but they didn't really like delve into it.
I don't think he was a werewolf. I think he was just like an undying servant, basically. At that point, he was just like possessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of like it's kind of vague with him, but you kind of get it. You know, I don't think it really needs to be
like from some of his mannerisms and the things he would do as far as method acting, which I also think is top notch. I'll save that for after I give the quick synopsis. And then there's Dr. Van Helsing, who coincidentally knows more about Dracula than anybody else he's in London, right? Or is he in America?
He's in London, yeah.
London, okay. I missed like that quick second because I had to take a phone call, and when I paused it, like it cut that audio out of it. So he's in London with Van Helsing, and he just knows instinctively, like, all right, we need Wolfsbane. Here's a Wolfsbane necklace that will ward off vampires and other creatures of the night. You're gonna wear this necklace. We're gonna put it on every door. You're gonna keep every door and window closed. You're not to do anything unless I instruct you otherwise. He's a very smart man, very, very hyper intelligent, because he figured out Count Dracula was a vampire a lot faster than anybody else who was around that should have known.
Well, no one was being nosy like him.
Then they had lots of small confrontations. it was more of a cat and mouse game. Like, you know who I am, so you know what I'm capable of. There were moments where Dracula had people under his control who I thought were pretty strong-willed to resist the vampire seduction or hypnosis, whichever you prefer to call it. I call it the seduction.
Yeah, basically.
And they, like with Mina, he obviously wanted her for his companion. So he was like, "Yeah, you're already too late, doctor. I've cut open a vein, made her drink, and my blood now runs through her veins. So she's just as much, a part of me as she is her biological family," which I thought was pretty cool. I always liked the old vampires before they were fetishized because I like the aesthetic of I'm very proper, I'm very high mannered in etiquette and of a highest social caliber that will not be matched unless you are a lord or lady of the land, and how fashionable they were. Because he looked like he was a 1730s viscount, high viscount, or maybe an
Okay.
archduke.
Yeah,
Um,
he was in a full getup.
What else happens? I can't think of the dude who works in the loony bin, but he's like, these people are crazy. We're the only normal ones. And I think you're crazy sometimes. But that's
Yeah,
okay. he
yeah, the
I was
comic
hoping
relief.
nothing bad happened to him. So glad it didn't. And when he took the gun, it was like, there's a giant gray bat out here. And he's like, this man's mad. What do you mean a freaking shotgun can't kill a bat?
Oh, I like the part when he just says to the lady next to him, "Is like, we're the only two sane ones, but sometimes I wonder about you." And she's like, "It's like same." And he's like, starts walking her back slowly after she said that.
He did his job and he got away.
Oh,
I know I'm skipping over a lot. It's a very short movie. I know you told us it was an hour and some change. I was like, oh, maybe it'll be like an hour and 20, but it was like under that, which
Yeah,
I
I
was
think it's an hour
mm,
15 around there.
Yeah, which was I had to go back and rewatch like the last 25-ish minutes
Mhm.
because I'm like they just talk kind of softly. Well, and the microphones back then weren't as high quality now. As you can
true.
see that I'm sporting out, I finally have a mic, everyone. I've upgraded. But it was yeah, Dracula basically was on the quest for love. And
Ye
these dudes stopped him from, seeking companionship because everybody needs someone to love. My old mentor that taught me how to run mail said everyone should be married at least one time to know what, joy and true love is,
Oh,
which
that's
is what
pretty cool.
Dracula wanted.
Mm.
Yeah, he just wanted to possess his, lover, so I understand why, people weren't enjoying that part. I understand the motivations of the mortals. Um, yeah, this movie, it's filmed 1931, so it's definitely like slow pace, but like the
It
plot is
works.
always progressing. It's never like it's just like at a standstill and it's just like talking heads. Like there's always something going on. And it's just oozes with atmosphere, like the set design and just how Bela Lugosi just stares into the camera and he's so like the
Yeah, just
camera
that
swoops up
piercing
the stairs.
glare.
Yeah, he literally is, like, staring through the soul of the audience, and, yeah, the Bela Lugosi, at when this movie was released, he was, like, the biggest star of Universal at the time, and, we could kinda tie that into, once we talk about Ed Wood, kinda what happened with him, but, yeah, he did, he would both prior to this, he would do plays as Dracula throughout, like, the country. I think he would do it in, like, Germany and London, and then I think eventually he went to the States, so, like, he was prolific in playing this character, and then eventually they're like, "Well, let's make it into film," and then they got Bela Lugosi, who was already, like, known to be Dracula, so, like, he already had the role, like, in the bag, like, he had it,
Yeah.
and,
Okay.
with his Hungarian accent definitely made him more like an
It made
outsider.
it more believable.
Oh god.
Yeah, it definitely did.
I was about to quote something from Ed Wood.
You have to be Hungarian.
You have to be double jointed and
Yeah.
Hungarian, and he's just
Yeah.
doing the hand.
I love the use of Swan Lake for the theme. For the beginning with the title sequence and
Mhm.
just like showing all the the names of the cast and everything. I think that song really fits. I think it's originally written for ballet, but every time I hear it, I just think of Dracula, you know. Um, and then eventually they use that theme once we talk about the other movie.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts, man? What do you think?
Oh, I haven't seen
Matt
this in
loves it.
like for
He's gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
because now you said that, I hate this movie. I despise it. I don't like that it's in black and white. I don't like that it's
All right,
slow.
shut up,
I wish it was longer. No, I haven't seen this movie in like forever, but it was a nice scene. It was nice seeing it again, and I was like, I was actually shocked with like the runtime also because it's just like it's quick at the same time, it feels like it's a nice cruising movie, and a lot of the characters in it, I just kept on like Van Helsing in general for me. Like I'm so used to him now being more of the like over the top. I'm gonna kill that bastard of a monster, and I'm gonna get his head. And then this one's just like, I know how to stop it. We know how to do this. Are we sure? Like, if we're gonna make sure he's a monster first, but I do know how to stop this man, and he goes through the motions of it and like analyze. He's more of a detective that knew what he had to do prior hand to this like events, but like and everything else I've seen him in is like just like, oh, we're just killing. We're just gonna kill everything here and just get out of here. And I was like, I like that we had this reasonable gentleman that we could get the grasp of.
Yeah,
I
I like how
liked,
he's more subdued
Mhm.
for
yeah,
He's
sure.
and
very
he,
calm and reserved,
yes,
almost
Mhm.
like a veteran, of mythological warfare.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Jerry's, like when
Or
you're,
not mythological, supernatural. I'm sorry.
yeah, like when you were
I'm
saying
thinking of
like,
something else.
like when you were saying like with him like talking about the Wolfsbane and everything and going down the lineup, you're like, okay, this gentleman, like I'm not gonna like not leave him alone. I'm gonna be hanging with him all the time because he knows what he's doing. I'm not gonna hang out with the butler guy because I'm gonna die. But like I did like that Dracula wasn't 100% in the movie. He was needed in his moments, and then they use different ways to do the controlling of the people, like the bat sequences they had. Is it funny seeing the flappy bat going around the area a little bit at some moments, but like it's a different way of tactic that we got to see him doing controlling of his like puppets he
Yeah.
was pulling
I think
strings
Mhm.
of.
I think even though it's like, a bat on a string literally, but I think it really kind of works, like, it's especially with the atmosphere of everything else, like, the
No,
pet
I
show looked
know.
totally real, like, the
Mhm.
castle, like, you could tell it's almost like a dream-like sequence,
No,
throughout the whole
Mhm.
movie.
I
Like,
totally agree with you on that.
it doesn't look 100%
100%.
real, but it's like a
It's
dream
almost
state.
Yeah.
trance-like.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely puts you in a trance, so that's I think it completely fits.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. And I wanna talk about I'm gonna go ahead and call him a werewolf because I think that's what they intended for him to be, because they
Mhm.
made mention of seeing a wolf the size of a man.
Yeah, and then they
I think
said
what
like, "What?"
the wolf is Dracula. In the book,
Oh, the
he turns
wolf is
into
Dracula.
yeah, the wolf is
Oh,
Dracula.
okay.
In the book,
Okay.
in the book, he turns into a wolf, a bat, and I think he turns into something else. So, yeah, I think Renfield. I think he's just basically like an undead servant. Because there's like a Netflix Dracula series that I was watching a little bit with Connor Donovan.
Mhm.
Um, and, like, he was, they had the same Renfield character, but, like, they kinda made him, like, decaying and, like, just dying, like, he wasn't really a vampire, but he was just, like,
Kinda like a zombie almost.
disintegrating. He
Mm.
was kinda like a zombie, but, like, he still had his mind, you know, but like it was just like
Yeah, like a
just
fiendish
decay.
character. He's like a
Yeah.
ghoul.
The one thing
Yeah.
he did when they were in the home, when Dracula was obviously trying to get Mina to follow him and he was relaying the message in his bat form and everything, was when the one of the maids had passed out and he did that signature laugh of his. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like,
Oh,
why the
yeah.
hell do I know that laugh? And so then I just stopped and I went back and just thought, like, where do I know this from? Where do I know this from? So Scooby Doo and the Boo Brothers did that same laugh
Oh,
for.
really?
I pulled up the clip and everything because I
What
said
the
I
hell?
know I heard this in the cartoon. Like he's the weird hunchback dude with the glasses, and he does the. And I can't do it. I've got a bad
The
laugh.
like, whatever he's doing.
Yes, and I'm like, that's where they got that from. Because I
Did they
knew I
take the
heard it.
actual did they take the audio from the movie and just put it in Scooby Doo, or they try to, like, recreate it?
They tried to recreate it as best they
Okay.
could. It matched up a little bit in the beginning, but then it got kind of, you know, how cartoons do. It got goofy.
Mm.
I
And
gotta look
then even I really liked his body acting as well as the method acting he was doing
mm,
because he went from like, just normal like conversation, like talk to somebody, and then on a dime he turned around and he's bug-eyed. He's just, you know, a whole different like entity altogether, being like, yes, yes, my master. And he was like, no, no, I would never sell you out. I promise. They followed me here. I have been your loyal servant since, you asked me to be. You are my only master. And I'm just like, this is like, that's what I really enjoy, especially about the older movies, just how their version of method acting was so vibrant in terms of how quick and easily it came to them, but
mhm.
also how much it just stuck with you for that character.
Yeah, Renfield definitely is a standout character, like, he and Dracula are, like, the top, um, characters in the movie, I think. Like, they have the most going on.
Yeah, if they would have given me a movie just about him, I wouldn't have been too upset because I feel like he had, an interesting past, or he's done some interesting things because when Dracula, had killed him, he said, "No, punish me, torture me, let me live, but don't kill me. I cannot, go into the next life with all of these l- lies on my conscience." So obviously, at some point, he still retains, a sense of morality, which I thought was a very interesting, not paradox. What is it's another word that's like paradox. Uh,
Uh, Nature, no.
uh,
Um,
Royal?
yeah, there we go. Coil. We're gonna look it up and come back to it later. But he
see you
just
next episode.
Okay.
like, even though obviously he's probably killed thousands, if not tens of thousands of people for Dracula, he just still wanted, it was in his mind, it was easier for him to have a living consequence, whether it was, torture, punishment, enslavement in some type of other fashion outside of servitude. But he just did not want to physically die and meet, his creator and have to answer for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, like, kinda make you think a little bit too, like, there is an afterlife in, the Dracula universe, so you're like, "Huh, what is it?" Like, it seems like Dracula has been to hell or something, like, he's seen something.
Yeah, it's almost like he got up from the poker table and told Satan, "All right, I've won my chips. I'm gonna go take a quick break for about a good 10 to 3,000 years when we'll reconvene."
Right? That would be
Oh
cool.
god.
That's
That'd be such a
It just
story.
made me think. I wish that now I wish Dracula was the villain in the new Ghostbusters, but that's a whole different discussion. Instead of Gozer coming back every
Oh,
couple thousand years, it's Dracula. That would be
yeah.
cool.
Oh god, that'd be a different take of Ghostbusters. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be something different.
I also thought it was interesting how they didn't do like, outside of the mirror, the crucifix, and the stake to the heart. I thought Wolfsbane was another interesting thing that they added instead of the standard, wear this smelly fucking garlic. I mean,
Yeah,
wear this garlic to, ward him
I like
off.
Wolfsbane as more of an idea than garlic. I don't know.
Mm,
It just kind of
Yeah,
sounds like it fits more. I think just the name.
I agree. Wolfsbane is so, we know Wolfsbane is supposed to be harmful to werewolves and, other vampire and creatures of the night. So I think it was very interesting how that was their main go-to, and they didn't decide, you know what, let's get a priest and use holy water.
mm. I
Because
did
holy water is always like the last ditch effort where you just splash it on them. It's like you throw acid.
true. That's the getaway. Always, but like I did like they tried to use actual. They were mentioning actually using like silver wise in the midst too, and
Hmm.
everyone knows silver's more werewolf, but like everyone forgets like vampires do have that slight effect to them from like silver. It's not. I don't think it's that deadly as is
It's
for a
not to the
werewolf.
same level, but it's
Yeah.
because silver is supposed to represent the purity, and vampires
Mhm.
still are undead. Which I know in certain instances they've used silver, to fight zombies, witches, and other things like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's cool. They're bringing up a kind of forgotten about mechanic.
True.
But, I digress. There's so many things about this movie that I love and enjoy that the hour and like 15-ish minute runtime I can get over.
Yeah. What is happening? Okay, but no, I can get over. I'm with you on the same time. I can get over the hour and 15 minutes like the right time. Okay, what's the hand gestures?
So it's a new social media trend where that people are doing from the new Mario games where the Koopas stop and dance like at the most random times.
Oh God, you're starting that too. No,
It's
God, I was
top
about to
tier.
call you again. Top tier, got it. I'm trying to get Josh back. Give me a second. Okay, we're gonna leave him a voice message.
Gotta hang up and call them.
I've been trying. I've been trying. Oh,
Sucks.
it can't.
Oh,
I
boy.
can't call Josh. It won't let me call Josh.
Hold on. Hold on.
It won't let me. Oh God. That's no, no. Get the face. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like Christopher Walken's now.
Hello, does this work?
Hello.
Can you
We're
hear
gonna
me?
try. Okay, we're all here.
All right. Jerry
Fuck.
got through. Oh
I
God.
got through. I'm the
You got
middleman.
through. It wouldn't let me get to Josh.
I gotta
We're
get
just having some
next time
technical issues.
but
It's
I'm gonna do this
pre-Thanksgiving
I'm gonna
stuff.
do this in another room next time because this is too much. This is not working.
But before our mics got cut off, I was just saying that everything that they've done in the movie, as far as some of the small scenes to even the bigger lengthy talks between Dracula and some of the other cast members, or even Van Helsing, it makes for such an interesting, almost detective movie because obviously we as the viewer know what's going on,
Mhm.
but as the each step of the way, we're like, oh well, maybe there's something else that we don't know about that somebody else knows, and I think that's a very unique and very wholesome way to tell a story about Dracula. Have us play detective as much as the other people involved with it. But that's all I was saying.
No, I
If you
I
wanted
No,
to
totally
I
agree
agree.
with you.
That's actually an interesting take, which I didn't really think of it, but yeah, it is like a detective movie because you're picking up the pieces with Van Helsing, kind of figuring out
Mhm.
like if you didn't know anything about Dracula, like you wouldn't know if he was a vampire until Van Helsing comes into the picture. So probably like in 1931, people might not have been as familiar with Dracula as we are now because when you think of Dracula, you think of Bela Lugosi. Like that's like the Dracula. So like prior to Bela Lugosi, what did people think of? You know, Val the Impaler, like the the real
probably
guy,
the
who's
inspiration.
Dracula's based off of. I mean, obviously the book's been out since what the 1800s, but I don't know. Like once you think of like the what's the word? Like just the basic version of Dracula or like the everyday version, you think of the Bela Lugosi one, or if you
Mhm.
think of Frankenstein, you think of the Universal version, the Boris Karloff one. So like prior to that, what did people picture in their head?
Mm.
Kind of like an interesting thought, because now, yeah, like we're so familiar with the character, so I didn't
We
even
have
like,
so
yeah, I
many
wouldn't even thought of it.
Draculas.
We do.
Yeah, we
Like
have so many
I'm
Draculas, but like the one you think of, like when you say Dracula, is Bela Lugosi, like at least like the most common one. Like if you're gonna get a generic Halloween costume that's Dracula, it's gonna be Bela Lugosi.
Yeah,
You're not
like I
wrong.
didn't realize that the Dracula costume is directly off of Bela Lugosi. Because
Yeah.
whenever I thought of, the character, I thought of Bram Stoker's Dracula,
Mhm.
film adaptation.
Oh, yeah, I never seen that one. I haven't seen that one.
I
What
caught
was
a
it?
little bit of it, but my mom had cut off that movie channel, so I was watching it like 8 o'clock, and it was like, "Oh, you have to buy this channel." I'm like, "Oh, that's great." I was 30 minutes in and kind of enjoying
Oh,
this.
man. Yeah, that's on
Josh,
my list.
Didn't Monster Squad rip off, like take the Bela Lugosi? Oh well, I'm
Bela
not gonna
Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi. Thank you. Dracula also for that movie. Like this,
They kinda
Probably.
did.
kind
They
of
did
did.
they did their own thing, but, like, the look is, like, based off Bela Lugosi, but they don't have the iconic accent, like
I
like
know,
the
but it's
Hungarian
still they
accent.
did.
Like, when you think of, like, what does Dracula sound like? You just think of the Hungarian accent that Bela Lugosi has. Like, if you're just gonna do an impersonation or charades, you're gonna do that. You're gonna do all those movements. Um, so there's an interesting tidbit about this movie. There's a Spanish version filmed at the same time of this
Okay.
movie with a whole different cast, a whole different crew, but the American version, they would shoot first, and then the Spanish crew would shoot at night, and I think they would be able to basically see the dailies of the US version, and they're like, "Oh, we could do better than this." So, like, their camera works are more dynamic and, like, it moves more. So, like, the camera
Hmm.
work is a lot more interesting in the Spanish one, but it doesn't have Bela Lugosi. But the guy who does the Spanish Dracula is pretty good, but, Bela Lugosi is just so iconic. Um, so there are, like, some shots that, like, are way more interesting in the Spanish version, which is pretty. I don't know, it's just funny to see.
That's funny.
Um,
I did not know that.
yeah, so if you get a chance, at least, like, check out some of the comparisons. I think it's worth seeing, like, when like, in, the American version where Bela Lugosi, like, smacks the mirror. He just kinda, like, smacks at his hand. In the,
This
Spanish
was
version,
like
he just fucking smashes it, like, completely demolishes it, and it's, like, it's just that much more impactful, but, you know, I think, Bela Lugosi's just that good, like, that's the one to watch, but it's I think they're both worth watching, for sure.
Now I feel like I need to
Well,
watch
Bela
the Spanish
Lugosi
one.
is just a gentleman.
Yeah.
That's why he respected his enemy and just smacked the mirror and not the man's entire
Yeah.
freaking hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Yeah.
gotta do it sometimes.
Yeah. So we have a whole entire movie to talk about, so maybe we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
Um, but this is a really great movie. This is one of the first Universal monster movie I have seen. It's the first one that came out, so it's
Hmm.
definitely, I would recommend it. And, I think we could talk about this for a while, but, yeah, we gotta get into the other one.
You have
So
to
I'll
get
just rate it.
into Tim Burton and Johnny Depp again.
Yeah, another Tim
Mhm.
Burton, Johnny Depp collaboration. I did 2 in a row. Um, I won't do a 3rd one, but
I'll do the third one. Don't worry.
Sure.
no, okay.
We'll do
Um,
another one. The sell by
so
his
I thought
victory. I'm just
I wanna give this movie a 10, but right now I'm gonna give it a 9. I think, like, on another viewing, I'll probably give it a 10, but right now I'm just gonna stay with a 9. So I give it a 9 out of 10, but, probably a 10 out of 10 next viewing.
Matt.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it at least an 8.5 because when I was watching it, I was at work trying to watch it in decent
Oh, you
peace.
didn't watch it.
No, I did watch it,
No, you
but yes, I
didn't.
did. Don't do this to me because this
I
gentleman
was
right
at
there,
work.
that
I
man
was
smiling in the corner, he did the
I
same.
was I was at work, I was scratching my balls, I was playing God of War, I was talking to Jerry, I was
This
fucking
man
flying a
on my
kite,
right is
I was
doing the same
windsurfing,
thing.
I was skydiving at the same time while watching
You
the
know I'm
movie.
afraid of heights.
So, are you telling me you weren't watching the movie? That's how Matt watches movies, by doing fucking
Jerry, you better
15
take this
things.
whole thing too because he's dissing both of us, okay?
I also watched this at work.
See? While scratching his
Yeah, but
balls, playing
Matt,
God of
you're way
War,
worse. You're way
skydiving and shit.
worse.
He went
He did the
scuba
whole
diving
synopsis.
also.
Jerry did the whole synopsis. He retained every scene. You
I'm
didn't even know that he was a vampire.
I'm gonna follow behind Josh. I'm gonna give this a 9. I know I'll give it a 10. Definitely if
Yeah,
I'll, not if, but when I watch it again. But it's, right now, there's a lot of things I love. I don't dislike anything. If I had to say, if I had one small problem, it would be the short runtime. But for what they were doing with the movie, it worked perfectly. I honestly wish there would be a resurgence of movies like this that tell a
yeah.
good story at a smooth pace and like hour 20.
Yeah, I
It's
love
a
the
fun movie.
atmosphere.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, like, if they made movies like they did back in the day, like this, like, I love the fake sets, I love, like, the castles and the fake moons and, like, you could tell it's a set, but it's just, like, it just oozes with atmosphere that you're like, "Oh, okay, I'm in a different realm, I'm in, like, a dreamlike state, I'm, like, somewhere completely different, this is not where I'm from, this is somewhere else," and I love that about movies, I want movies that kinda dance on the tightrope of, like, dreamlike and reality, I don't need it to be reality because 'cause I'm in reality. Make it so
Hmm.
it's I think the more dreamlike it is and like, if it doesn't look hyper realistic, the more I feel like it's a vivid dreamlike state, at least to
Oh,
me.
I agree. Because it was, I know we have to move on to Ed Wood. So I'll just say this and wrap up. But it's, a lot of the shots and scenes, and also the fact that everybody is eccentric in their own way that builds off what somebody else was doing. Like when Renfield was doing his freaky laugh with the little, like all his
Yeah,
just
that's
body
super iconic.
movements is just like, man, I can obviously see where, Igor and every other monster movie assistant has come from with him. And even, it trickling into, cartoons and other live action shows and things that were inspired by it. Even to Bela Lugosi's very classic, the vampire stare with the cloak being drawn. You can't, you can try to recreate it, but nothing will ever beat, him doing it with just that. His glare, I love his version of the vampire's glare to try to get people to bend to his will. It's just so good. It's just perfect, all around perfect.
Yeah. He like stares through your soul, and it's funny that you say with Renfield that you could see where Igor comes from. He does play Igor in the
Oh,
Frankenstein
really?
movie starring
Oh.
Bela Lugosi. I mean, not Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff. Sorry, the other one.
He will be mad if
But
you say that, Josh. If he found out, you just made him roll
fuck
his sleeve.
you! Karloff does not deserve to smell like shit. How dare that asshole mention Karloff? You think it takes talent to play Frankenstein? It's all grunting and moaning and
Hilarious.
Anyway.
Take us into Ed Wood, please, Josh. I've been dying to talk about this one.
Yes, let's shoot this fucker. Okay, Matt, take it away.
Okay, so Ed Wood's about a man from Poughkeepsie, New York, that moves to Hollywood to make a movie career out of his life, but he'd be a director, and he's trying to make basically all these kind of movies, and he doesn't have a proper budget set and crew that he slowly obtains later on. And his first movie he takes upon is a movie about a man changing gender, and he ends up just taking it down his little road and throwing his own little twists inside of it. And oh god, it's just this is a crazy windy road. This man has done so much stuff in this career. It's great. I love it. It's all the stuff that he has made ends up to be totally failures, but they're adventures. I'm not gonna lie. The adventures are well deserved with this guy, but I do feel bad for his bad movies that he has made. But he ends up gaining a good friend, Bela Lugosi. I'm not gonna say his
Bela
last name.
Lugosi?
Thank you. I'm gonna fucking tongue tie his.
Did you say Bela Goulash?
No. No, I'm not trying to diss his last name. I just keep tongue twisting his last name. And yeah, onward. He ends up getting that gentleman as like a bestie forever now until
Foresti? Now you're just making up words.
I am. But whatever. I can do what I want. But until he passes away, but he ends up getting
Spoilers.
Yeah. It's 94. It's old as us. God damn. If you haven't seen it, damn. Okay. But yeah, until he passes away, and this is where Ed basically gets his last. Well, it's not his last chance, but he gets the proper opportunity to make a movie that actually does good for his career, and it's called Plan 9 from outer space, and it's the last movie of Bela Lugosi. I'm gonna fuck up this
Bela
last name.
Lugosi.
Thank you.
Maybe
You
we
just
should
call him Bella.
Bella. That's I just feel weird saying Bella.
Lugosi.
I know, but it's good. They set it up to be his last movie because they were filming a different movie at the same time. They just twisted it to become Plan 9 from Outer Space, and it did really well with the audience, and it set him up into a different setup, but he still didn't do well with his other movies.
It really didn't do well in reality. This movie is pretty fucking boring. I tried to watch the real version. I'm like, oh, this just sucks. But this movie made me interested in watching the actual films, and
I
this
still
is
want to see the
way more
movies.
entertaining than any of the movies that came out. I guess, like, it's I don't know. It just makes you more
God,
interested in watching the movies, but I think you don't need to. I think the only movie you should see in preparation of this movie is the one we just talked about, was Dracula, because then you get to all the nuances of, like, people going up to Bela Lugosi, and he's like, "Oh, what do you want some wine?" He's like, "I never drink wine." He's like, "Oh, he said the line," and,
mm,
just those nuances in, like, how they utilize Swan Lake, like, with his themes, like, when he's about to pass on, and it's just like shows Bela Lugosi like in the coffin. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz, So it's like Ed Wood is basically like Dorothy gathering up all these like colorful characters that are like set in their own settings that
God,
like basically bring out their character. Like you see Bela Lugosi when you first see him, he's laying in a coffin and he wakes up like,
true.
oh, he's setting up that he's like Dracula, and then like you see Tor Johnson, the wrestler. He's wrestling, and he's like like an ape man. And then you see, Vampira on TV, being a host. And it's just like you just see all these characters like in their natural setting, and it's just like all these misfits. And he just picks them up, and he's like, "Be in my movie. It's gonna be great." And he's like, like the one producer who's like produces Glenn or Glenda. He's like, "Your movie? I wish I never produced this pile of shit. And if I ever
Oh
see you
my
again,
God.
I'll kill
I'll
you."
kill ya.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just such a short
His
character, like a short scene moment, but like he really stands out. Like all the lines are pretty quotable. Like we don't have a permit. Run, and then if you ever made like a no budget movie, like you could definitely relate to this, with the octopus
Mhm.
motor, and then like this fucking. I was just thinking of Matt the whole time with Bela Lugosi, and then the like the pool of
Oh
the
God.
lake with the octopus
With the
because
octopus thing, I was imagining when we filmed in the Hudson with the Jaws and the inflatable
oh
shark,
yeah.
and we had to strap you to the shark and have you shake around with the shark at the same time, squeeze blood, like freaking
Oh yeah, I had food coloring in my
food
pockets, and
coming
I
from
would
the blood.
smack the sides.
We literally had him do the same shit, but in the Hudson River. We had a full-on shark. And we're just it was hilarious. And we
Yeah,
did
good
that.
thing I didn't float away to New York City on that thing because we almost didn't bring a rope, and I
Yeah.
woulda, like, went with the tide. I would've been far away,
How
and
many
luckily, someone brought a rope, and I would've been gone.
Dennis had the
I would've been
first
bye-bye.
no, wait. Yeah, I think Dennis or I brought we brought the rope when, like
Dennis brought the rope. That
Dennis
was
brought the
the
rope, yeah.
first and only time Dennis has ever thought anything.
Yep. We had to
But,
film that twice.
um,
This is
ye
hilarious to hear.
yeah, so, like, it's very relatable if you
We
film
have
no budget
we have
films. Like,
lived we
I
have
was
lived
thinking of
some of that.
I was thinking of Matt when we put him in a swamp at his home in Grundy.
Oh,
Um, when Bela Lugosi's, like, in this cold
which
water,
time?
and,
Which
like, it's
time?
yeah, and it's yeah, Matt had to do that twice too, and then I love that scene too because like, it's lit by the headlights of all these vehicles, of all these cars, and, like, you're like, "Oh, that's kinda nice, like, how they lit it," and then you're like, "Oh, that's practically how they lit the scene," like, the shot is just like everyone's head beams headlights are on, and, I don't know, I just love the optimism of Ed Wood. He's like, "Oh, this is the worst film you ever saw. Well, my next one will be better." It's just
Yeah.
so happy, like, nothing brings
God.
him down, and how, like, open he is about, like, wearing with women's clothing, especially, like, back in the 1940s, and then Bill
Mhm.
Murray's character, he's like, "I'm gonna have a sex change, and goodbye, penis," and he's just, like,
When
stating
he
it
said
so
goodbye penis,
loudly.
It was so
I
great.
was in tears from laughter.
I I love the part where, like, we're gonna jump further with Bill Murray's like, "So how's the surgery?" It never happened. We went to Mexico. We were in a car accident. The surgeon died, and the other guy is a quack. So it never happened.
And then the
And
mariachi
he
band
shouts
saves
out the
him.
mariachi band for saving his
These
life.
fine gentlemen saved me.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, my
and, like
luggage was stolen too.
yeah, and, like, when that scene starts, you just hear, like, the mariachi band,
Yeah.
so you think it's, like, background music, you know? You're like,
Nope.
"Huh, okay, that was kinda interesting, they just incorporated that when they're talking about Mexico." But it's literally a and then it pans to the band,
Like
it's literally the band
immediately
just
on his
playing
right
right
is the
next to him.
band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, over his shoulder, and there's just so many, like, quick, awesome, like, neat little gags, like when they're like the first play, you know, there's like no one in the audience. There's just a bucket of water, you know, like water just dripping in there. Like,
In a rundown auditorium.
Oh
yeah,
god.
It's
um,
if somebody was to say that Johnny Depp based this movie on a real life attempt he made at making movies, I would believe it. Everything about this movie just screams Johnny Depp. From except for when they were saying like the F word and all that other crazy stuff. Him
I don't even
being a
remember that.
failed film director, actor, producer, writer, just him running off his girlfriend because he's just making all these promises to people like, what do you mean? You said you had $60,000 to give me. And the lady was like,
Oh
no, I only gave you
god.
300,
No,
hun.
300.
And
Yeah,
he's
dude.
like, oh, okay, we're gonna fix
Yeah,
this.
Yep.
And then he
and then they get
promises
kicked out of the
the
studio.
Texas rancher in the meat locker, like, yeah, I can give your son a role, in exchange for the 50K. I'll add him in some kind of way.
We need a big explosion. You know, it's like
This
that's how the
movie,
movie ends.
it's so goofy. And then,
Yes.
so the stuff with Bela Lugosi, was that true? Did he have a drug addiction at one
Oh,
point to morphine?
yeah.
Yeah.
He actually went into rehab. He is the first celebrity who was, like, checked into rehab, and it was very publicized at the time. And there is a picture of him, like, on the bed, like, slouching like that, and the actor who played him, Martin Landau, actually won, um, an Oscar for Best Supporting Role, for that year in 1994. Because he's spot on. He's like he is Bela Lugosi, like, he's so good.
I was looking at him. I'm like, he looks like Bela Lugosi, but I know he's not. So
Yeah.
he's very good, very, very, very good. I want to give him his due diligence. That
The
was
the one running
amazing.
joke is that I thought he was dead throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
just like, you guys are dicks. Like, this is
That's
horrible.
how they treated him. They
I
treated him
know.
like he was second rate because at that time, Boris Karloff was like took over his spotlight. Um, and that was true. Like he they offered him the role of Frankenstein and he turned it down because he was just like, I don't want to wear all this makeup. I'm a I'm a professional actor. I like to expel my voice, project it. I don't wanna be a grunting, stupid monster. So he turns it down, and then Boris Karloff is basically the one who gets sended off into the other Universal monster pictures. Like, he becomes the mummy. He's the one who's, like, becomes famous and actually gets the wealth. Like, he and then he ends
Mummy.
up doing, like, the Grinch and stuff, like, in his older age. Like,
Wait,
Bela
was he the
Lugosi.
black and white mummy?
Yeah.
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 I've seen that. I was like, you said the mummy. I'm like, I've watched that within like the last 5 years. That's the only reason I even
I
remember
I
that.
haven't I haven't seen that movie. That's still one I haven't seen. I do have the box set of
It's
the classic Universal
it's
monsters.
dope.
That's the one I
It's
haven't seen.
really good. I would
Okay.
outside of podcast, I definitely even for podcast, I'd recommend it. I watch it. I'm like, oh, this guy's cool. Because I've seen him in other stuff, but I just never put an actor to the character.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, I think I mean, Frankenstein is the most famous role, especially out of those 2. Um, but yeah, The Mummy is, like, one it's on my shelf. I own it. I just haven't gotten a chance to watch it. Um, but yeah, it is kinda sad what ultimately ended up with Bela Lugosi, like, he was taking morphine, he was doing drugs, he actually met Ed Wood, like, this is all true. Um, he did put him like, went into rehab, and then he did die, like, passed on because he had no money, and, his son looks a lot like him, like Bela Lugosi Jr. So
Yeah,
he's basically a dead bringer for Bela Lugosi. So I guess
because
he
I
was too
looked a
young to
little
play the stunt double for Plan 9 Outer Space, but, yeah,
because
then
I
they get a
looked a little more
chiropractor.
into it, and they were saying that some of the stuff in Ed Wood they got inaccurate, like him owning small dogs and him using profanity and his disdain for oh god, we just said the guy's name.
Oh, for Boris Karloff? Yeah, no,
Karloff, yeah.
I did hear that, like, that he never, like I don't know if he did have disdain in real life for Boris Karloff or not, but, like, they definitely embellished a lot of things, like, it definitely makes it more entertaining if he hates Boris Karloff. I think he was
Yeah.
more they definitely worked together in some films. I think it was there's like the Black Cat or something, and there's like another movie, but they did work together, and I think Boris Karloff only had great things to say about Bela Lugosi, and plus
Yeah.
Boris Karloff was from England, so like he was fluent in English, so he could really speak the language and Bela Lugosi's first language was Hungarian, so he had to basically, like, learn it in Hungarian, like, translate it in his head, and then, like, reverse it, so it's just, like, another process for him to basically say these lines, and the whole time, like, how Martin Landau described playing the role, he said he has a Hungarian accent, but he's trying to hide it. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to hide the Hungarian accent, like, throughout the whole performance, and I think that's what he was really doing in real life. He was trying to, like, hide it, and I think he owed the government of, Hungary some money for some reason, like, he was running from creditors throughout his life. There's a
God.
lot going on. Yeah, um, so all that's yeah, that stuff is true. Um, but yeah, no, they definitely embellished a lot. Like, I don't think Thor Johnson, was sounded like an ape. I don't think he talked like
Yeah.
that. "Do my toes." Like, "Rub my
Like
Right.
back."
some of the
God,
and then I
this
was like, I
Like
don't
the
know
Mickey
anything about
Mouse.
the I don't know anything about the real Elwood, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure that even if he was dressing up in women's clothes, that wouldn't be something, he would be open about, nor
Well,
would he be, so easygoing about it, especially with how
in
they
that
use
time.
how, Vampira said, "Oh, I thought you were a," especially at that time, when being, gay, you were locked up and given electroshock therapy and conversion therapy and all these other very horrific
Mhm.
things. I'm just like, this is, I mean, it did make for an interesting movie, but I'm like, this is, you know, I got a couple of issues here, man. And he's,
Yeah.
when he said casually, like, oh, I need as many, you know, transsexuals and the other T word,
No,
as many. And he's like, oh, it's okay. I'm one of them. I'm like, whoa, what? Whoa. This is, I need you to back it on up here, buddy.
yeah, no, I mean, especially for the time, I think they obviously weren't as politically correct with their language, so I think
Mhm.
it's fine with, the time period that was set in, like, how they would speak, but, I he did wear women's clothing in real life, and I think I did read he paired I don't know, he did jump out of a plane with wearing Brazilian panties, like, that's true, and, like,
Okay.
he did lose his teeth in the war, like, I think, like, a Japanese soldier, like, knocked his teeth out, so that's true. Um, yeah, the Angora, I mean, like, that stuff's all true, like, Glendon Glenda, like, he does play the character in the movie, like, he does wear that stuff, um, but, yeah, I don't know how open he was, like, talking about it prolifically, like, throughout his life, but it
In this
was
movie.
that's yeah, that stuff is true. It's obviously embellished in, like, the Hollywood sugarcoating of it, and, like, they do show the undercoatings of, like, the real life, like, circumstances, like, it's all, like, happy rainbows when, like, he meets Bela Lugosi, and then you see his arm and, like, all the morphine
Yeah.
injections, and then you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is then it becomes, like, really dark, and you're like, "Oh, this is real." And then at
Yeah.
the end of the movie like, it has that big Hollywood ending. He's, like, confessing his love to his new girlfriend. He's like, let's get married tomorrow." And then, and and, like, closing credits, like, Ed Wood died penniless and
Yep.
had no money, and, like, no one cared. It wasn't until way after his death, I think someone in, like, some pulp magazine basically called Plan 9 from Outer Space, like, the worst movie of all time. But that was decades after. It was probably, like, in the '80s where Ed Wood really got that name or known for the worst director of all time. And I don't think he actually is. I think it's just a fun title to say. And he's definitely more famous for having that title, and especially for this movie. Like, if this movie was never made, I wouldn't really know who Ed Wood was. I guess, like, some people would.
True.
The Poughkeepsie tie-in's pretty cool for us because he did grow up in Poughkeepsie.
I thought that was
There's some
interesting.
locations.
We were supposed to
Yeah.
go find his house at one time.
Yeah, no, Dan and I did do that. We have footage of it. I'll have to put it out sometime. Um, and that one. I'm gonna stop talking, but I just want to say this one thing. The one actress who you're saying who, like, gave out the $600 and that's all she had. The character that they're saying was Janet Lawton. So her last name was Lawton. So that's my last name. So I thought that was another cool tie-in. Like, they're like, oh, this is the best part, Janet Lawton, and
Yeah, that really
Poughkeepsie, New
was the
York.
best part for me. I was like, "Oh, so this must be one of Josh's, like, great aunts or grandmas or
No,
somebody."
I don't think so. I think it was just a character name in the script, but it was just like a weird tie-in, especially with having my hometown in there. I thought that was kind of cool. I want to talk about Orson Welles, but I'll let you guys talk before I do that.
So was that really Orson Welles? I meant to ask that before we got
Oh
sidetracked.
no,
Did
that
he
was
really
not
meet, like, I mean, did Ed really meet Orson Welles?
I don't think so. I don't think he met Orson Welles.
Because that definitely felt like some jazz that Tim Burton decided to put in.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I
when
mean.
he
They
did,
definitely.
Johnny Depp came in was like, "I'm doing this my way. Yeah, it's your money, but this is my vision. Yeah, this might
Yeah.
be something for your church, but I'm the director. It's going my way or the highway. And if you don't
Yeah.
like
No.
it, you can get the fudge out."
Like you could tell, like, a lot of this movie's embellished, and it's definitely, like, has that Hollywood sugarcoating to it, but I think that's the whole point
Oh
of the movie,
God.
It's, like, so it's definitely out there and, like, it's not taking itself too seriously, which is great, I think if it was taking itself too seriously, like, this movie would not be as good as it is.
True.
Vincent D'Onofrio, plays Orson Welles in, this movie, but I think the voice of, what is his name? The voice of Brain and Pinky and the Brain does, the dubbing, like, the overdubbing of it,
Okay.
Oh,
because he
I know who you're
it's
talking
like
about.
it's
I
it's
had a
like it's
chance to
like
meet him and I dropped the ball.
I think his name's Mark
Oh, what
something.
is
Wait,
I
why? Why didn't
What
you
happened?
I I took a nap and forgot.
Oh, like it. Oh.
Like, it
Like,
was the
how?
day of, I was gonna meet up with some friends anyway, and one of them was like, "Oh, the voice of Pinky and the Brain is gonna be at this con. We don't need, like, badges or anything to get in. It's just, to do, like, the exhibition hall, the dealer's alley, and, the game tournaments." And I was like, "Hell yeah." And I went to sleep for 5 hours.
Oh, man. I had
Eh,
different opportunities where I fell asleep and, like, "Oh, fuck, I fucked up." That happens, man. Sucks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, his name is Maurice LaMarche. I'm probably saying his last name wrong, but, like, that his whole brain persona in Pinky and the Brain is basically him doing an Orson Welles impression, so that's why, he did the voice of Orson Welles for the movie. I don't think he's credited. I read this, like, on IMDb, so I'm pretty sure it's accurate, and it makes sense because he sounds like Orson Welles already. Um But we'll have to talk about Citizen Kane at some point. That's a movie that's on my list that I wanted to throw at you guys. But yeah. Is it really?
Yeah, like, I
I've
was
never
like,
seen
Huh.
it.
"Oh, Citizen Kane will be a cool movie," because we all like, the
Yeah.
black and white stuff and, the really
Oh,
fucking bangers of the camera shots.
Yeah, that is a good. That is. There's a lot of camera techniques that people still don't even know how they did it. Which, yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about that
I've
movie.
never seen it,
Okay,
so yeah.
I figured as much. Only considered the greatest movie of all time. Of course, Matt hasn't seen it, but that's okay.
But you watch Star Wars, Matt. You
Yes.
watched the new
Yeah,
Star Wars,
but
and you
but
said that
you
sucked.
watch fucking Kiss flying on flying penises or whatever the fuck that movie was called. Um, what is it? What was that?
And you
Kiss
made us
Kiss
watch a
Saves the
movie
World.
about some stupid gators.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't need to take this. I can fucking leave all whenever I want.
I'll take my
Um,
credit. I made you guys watch a horrible movie about puppets.
that was probably that
True.
might have been the worst pick. That might have been the worst pick. Matt is
Oh
pretty
no,
consistent with picking terrible movies, but that was probably the worst one.
I've got one that is absolute dog water. Like it is
Oh
just
no.
horrible. I'm not gonna say when, but just know
The
it's gonna
curveball is
happen.
coming.
See, you guys pick so many shitty movies. I feel like I'm not allowed to. You know, like okay, I can't do because I gotta salvage this show somehow. We gotta watch some good stuff.
Ouch.
Well, we
Ouch.
bring the laugh.
Ouch.
Laughs are the best part.
Yo, what the hell, man?
I think okay. It's
You what? You just
never mind.
threw
I'm
us
not gonna
away.
say
Like,
it. I think 1 out of 3 movies that Matt picks is good, and then 2 out of 3 with Jerry is good. That's that's usually the
at least
ratio.
you get the better odds, Jerry.
It's okay because we're gonna probably flip flop in about the next 4 months.
Oh man, I'm planning on picking some shit for Christmas, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, I'm planning the same thing. I'm glad we're all in the same boat.
Fuck Christmas.
I love the holiday. Just hate how everybody's like, all right, spend money, spend endless amounts of money.
Yeah, I think the simpler you make Christmas, the better it is, and I that's what I've been taking in. Anyway, Ed Wood, what do you guys have any final thoughts or anything you want to bring up about Ed Wood?
This movie was, you know what? I'll give my final thoughts and review together because they all coincide. So Matt, you take it away this
Perfect.
time.
Oh god. So I remember watching this movie for the first time with Josh, and it was so fucking late at night. Josh threw this movie on, and like I was mad that I didn't see the ending because I fucking fell asleep literally in the last like 15, 20 minutes of the movie. I was really mad about that, and I was happy you brought back Ed Wood so I can finish watching the movie.
So you never finished the movie?
I didn't try.
Oh, what
I
the
didn't.
fuck, Matt?
Hey man, I got to see the best moments anyway. I just got the closure I just needed from the ending
Yeah.
because what do I just see that man let his car sit in the fucking rain and pull up with fucking 3 feet of water.
Yeah, and then he confesses that he's gonna get married.
Yeah, I don't. Do I really need
I
to see
thought that
that?
was cool. I did like that.
Yeah, that was a good spot. And then
Okay.
it zooms out, and then you see the whole setting of Hollywood, and it's obviously a set, and it's like supposed to look fake, and
Yeah,
it's great.
I could just leave. Just okay, no,
That
Right.
is my favorite part of the whole movie, honestly.
Wow. There's a lot of quotable lines in this movie.
yes,
I feel like every time we make our own BatYard production,
it
we
is.
quote like a lot of the lines
It's
is
like
from this movie. We
every
don't have a permit
that's
run. Let's shoot
yes.
this fucker.
Yeah, we
There was
said that
another one.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Make it look believable. Like we've done so much stuff. Wait, that's what like I like the or, like all the stuff that we've seen like the beginning is like everything like we can be related to with me and Josh filming some of our videos. It's like was it Mills Mansion? We're not supposed to be filming, or I'm not supposed to be using a drone either. So we're supposed to just be doing we're just we're doing stupid shit. That's basically what's happening. But but yeah, Josh showed me this movie. I was happy I got to finish watching it, but it's such a good movie. I enjoy it too much. It just God, it just gives me more flashbacks and just has like Josh was saying, relate will makes us relatable. And like I just like I want to like know like I want to know why they didn't like do a comparison at the end. You know what I mean? Like here's our actors and here's the real people. Let's see how close we kind of got the details of like casting and like the costume settings, like for the one of these actors for these the characters they were playing, and then at the same time, I forgot how much a little voice Johnny Depp can fucking have because I'm so used to now him having this deeper voice now when like he plays Captain Jack Sparrow or when I hear him in like interviews. It's just weird. It's like a weird like style that I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot he had that kind of voice for a bit. Like he even brought that into like what's it called? Was it Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
Charlie and the
Factory?
Chocolate Factory.
Whatever one you
Yeah,
want
it's
preferred.
Charlie.
Oh yeah, it's Charlie. Willy Wonka,
Willy
yeah,
Wonka's
for
the
the
good one.
original. Yep,
With Gene Wilder.
yep,
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
yes,
I just saw your message now, Jerry.
yeah.
Oh.
I saw it too.
um, wait, did you rate it, man?
I haven't rated it yet, but like it's to me like I actually like it's too enjoyable. Like I just wanted to give it this movie is just too so much happening. I am just gonna give it a flat out 10 thanks to what it did is just showing this man that tried his best to get somewhere. Then at the same time, it's super relatable to me and like you, Josh, we're us doing like our little projects and just having a ball and just like trying to get things go. We're trying to get things going and like see the after like the issues that would happen to us while we're down the road. I always like nice seeing like the other people and like they try to get like they kind of it gets relatable and all that. So I like I said, I give it a 10.
That's fair. That's cool. That's cool. You want to go next, Josh?
Sure. I think I'm gonna be fairly quick. Like I said, this movie's very quotable. It's very relatable, like Matt was saying, especially for BatYard Productions because we make stuff in our backyard using the elements and equipment that we
Oh,
have, and the using a lot of duct tape to to make our
so
sets,
much duct
and
tape,
paper clips.
bobby
But
pins.
yeah, this movie, every time I watch it, it gets better and better. I would give it a solid 10. I feel like I got to go back and give Dracula a 10 if I'm going to give this movie a 10 because they're like just like they're almost like they're a good pairing for sure. Like it's good to see Dracula, the actual Bela Lugosi in a film, and then seeing like the portrayal by Martin Landau, um, playing Bela Lugosi, but it seems pretty accurate. I mean, like, maybe not what he said about Boris Karloff, maybe, but, like, the mannerisms and kinda how he presented himself seems very accurate. Um, and like I said, it almost feels like a whimsical Wizard of Oz, like, coming together, like, the gang's coming together and, like, there's no really villains in the movie. The only villains are, like, the first girlfriend who's, like, he kinda shits on anyway and gives her part away, the Sarah Jessica Parker part, and she says these movies are terrible, like, during the the screening of one of the films, like, during the parties. And then, she's not wrong, they are fucking terrible, you know? And, like, everyone who says, like, these movies are bad are, like, the bad guys, but none of them are wrong. Um, and, okay, so what was, there was something else I wanted to bring up before I brought this thing up, but, I guess I'll bring this up. Okay, so, the thing people say about Sarah Jessica Parker, like, what she looks like, the thing they
Mhm.
say?
Oh, the horse
You know what I'm
face.
talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you realize that it do you realize what she said in the movie? In the beginning when they're giving the reviews,
Oh
And then
yeah. I was
it came
like,
from the horse. It came from the horse's mouth, and
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
so that's
Yeah, I
where
thought
that
that was
comes from.
funny.
It comes from this. That's why everyone says that. She said it herself. Um, so I just wanted to state that. I think Sarah Jessica Parker is I think she looks good in this movie. I like her in this movie. This is probably my favorite role that she ever done. Um, and I think this is almost Tim Burton's best movie. I think it's his best. It's like the tone is right, the characters are right, the line delivery, just like the atmosphere. Everything seems very purposeful, but there's a lot of heart, especially between Ed Wood and Bela Lugosi's character. It's not like all fun and gags. Like that really is the heart of the movie is their relationship and like how he's trying to bring back his, Martin Lando after he comes out of the mental ward. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have my big comeback," and you're like really feeling for him. Like it seems like he actually is gonna have a comeback. Like his spirits are high. People are like coming up to him, go like, you're Bela Lugosi. This is awesome that turn a new leaf, and then he dies literally like days after. And, I think that's really was the public perception of what was going on at the same time too. Like they were kind of excited that he was coming out, and people were kind of like more interested because he was like bad press is still good press, like press is press, and he didn't know the
Yep.
power of that. So it is kind of sad what happened with Bela Lugosi, especially how like high he started, and he basically started the whole genre of monster movies, especially with Universal. So rest in peace, Bela Lugosi. Rest in peace, Ed Wood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ed Wood ended up making like weird fucking pornos in the 70s. Like
Yeah.
that's where his career went to. So,
Who didn't make
uh,
porn in the 70s?
who did not make porno in the 70s? Is this a
You'd
trick
be
question?
surprised. A lot of people did. A lot of people did
Yes,
some weird stuff
Stallone
back
did
in the day.
before Rocky, I guess. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Go ahead, Jerry.
I'm gonna try to keep this quick. This movie it's like a group of strangers becoming friends. And it's like, hey, you want to be in the movie? I don't know. What's your budget? What budget? We'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And I'm watching this movie trying not to laugh because Johnny Depp is he's so animated when it comes to these movies that he's making. And he recruits this random wrestler. He's trying to get a TV host that everybody knows to be in a movie. And he basically picks her up when she's at her lowest point. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I got nothing left to lose. And I mean, even
Yeah.
at this point, Bela Lugosi's kind of washed up. He's been he had a substance abuse problem. And, he did get him the help he needed and deserved, which can be said more than, some other people that were involved with him while he was at his highest point. But it's just everything that's sugar coated, made up, and fake. It's just hilarious. I'm gonna give
Oh
this
yeah.
movie a solid 8. I would give it a 9 if I watch it again, but I think an 8's pretty solid. I didn't hate the movie. I was like, okay, this is kind of dragging on, but I was still having fun with it. And okay, so this is a funny story. So back in high school, I was actually filming like a movie with my friends, and we were in this freaking back alley. So we have
Oh
a section
god.
of downtown called Printer's Alley. That's nothing but just sketchy alleys where prostitutes and drifters
Oh
just go.
gosh.
And we're in the
Why did
middle
you
of the
go
day doing this though.
there?
This is the middle of the day. And so so me and one of my friends, we're doing our lines and our sequences because we had a little bit of action. And one of our friends is like on the side of this building where there's a small like cinder block wall hanging onto this loosely hung bar. And he's like, guys, we need to hurry this up. I can feel this thing starting to come apart. And so then, people are just looking at us and they're just pointing. and then cars are driving by looking at us. One rolls the window down, and we're like, "Friggin' cheese it, we gotta go!" And it was just,
oh god.
No,
So
we
was
didn't have
someone
a single permit for anything. I'm pretty sure we were illegally trespassing on a residence or business at that point.
was someone
Ben-
chasing you down?
No, but somebody did roll their windows down and was kind of looking at us. We were like, "Oh yeah, we need to go. We
Oh
gotta
gosh,
book it."
God.
Yeah, I
'Cause
don't
it's
want to tell you the half the stuff we did.
Oh man.
I can't go into detail because I'm pretty sure somebody out here is still looking like, "Wait a minute, I remember that guy. Now that he said that, it's the statute of limitation, baby. Let's get him before it's too far."
God. The way you described the Rat Pack of like Ed Wood's group here, that's how it felt when me and Josh were filming Josh's first real big project of the freaking zombie movie. Because it wasn't like Josh had a select crew, but every freaking day would be a new person on set or
Yeah.
another group of people, and we'd just be like,
Yup.
what else? They're like, all right, you get to be a zombie, you be a zombie, you get to be the guy that hold the boom, you be this guy, that guy. It was just like, what the hell? Every time we shot, we had a new cast, like new crew and cast almost.
Yeah, sometimes people would just show up at my house, and they had nothing to do with the movie, and there'll be, like, 10 extra kids just, like, hanging out, like, while we're making
Yeah.
this movie, destroying my
Jeez.
garage. I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here. Why are you even here?" And, like, um, yeah, that was I still think that that whole idea is a good idea. I think, we should have done episodic. I think that would have been more digestible
No,
and
you
would have
were
made more
shooting for the
sense
moon.
yeah, I wanted it to be this whole epic fucking movie. I wanted it to be the whole thing. I wanted the ending to have like a fucking 1,000 zombies. I don't know what the fuck I was planning on doing, like how I was gonna do that, but
The
I
thing is,
literally that was like my vision in my
Josh
head. It
can
was like
wrangle
basic.
up people like no tomorrow. I don't understand how or what. Josh can literally talk to you, and the way he would talk to you, he would get these people to be like, "Sure, why not? Fuck it, let's do this thing," and no one would bet an eye on it, and they'll just move onward with it. That's
Yeah, yeah, basically. Yeah, there is I recently uploaded the first scene of the not monster movie of the zombie movie that we were making. That's basically there's some surviving footage, but that's the most complete sequence that we have.
Mhm.
So you could watch that on YouTube. It's out there now. That's us in like 2010, and I know,
That was
and
Matt
it was
before the beard.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was Matt before the
Before the
beard.
beard.
Um, Yeah, it was basically the premise of that was the Goonies meets zombies. That was basically my
Oh
idea.
man.
Yep.
Yeah. So instead of
God.
Fratellis, it's zombies chasing the Goonies. I still think it's a good idea, and if I'm ever able to pitch it and fucking get people to play us, I'm gonna do it.
It's a sweet idea.
Oh god. And then you have to see the storyboards of Josh's too for this movie also. It's great. What
I don't think I
vampire
have any of those.
I thought you still did. I believe you did. What was it?
I
What
don't know if
vampire
I do.
power would you want to have, Trey Thompson? Hmm.
Hmm.
What
It
vampire
depends on how you would define vampire power, because fiction now has kind of added and skewed the lines on some of their abilities. Because personally, I want the seduction to bend people to my will.
It's not a bad one.
You
I
know,
like it. I like it, but I would feel too creepy saying that answer for me personally.
but this is Jerry.
Though it
Jerry has
was
to do this. In all his video games, he has to have control of everything. So
I do.
why
I
not?
have an army
so
of minions.
Oh wait.
so okay. So with the if I do get a vampire power, do I have the side effects of a vampire? is the question.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
true.
have
Do we
to,
get
like
the side
But Trey,
effects,
can you
or
follow up
is
on
it
yeah,
this
just
question
or do you
for
just have
us?
the power? Because, like, if it's, like, I melt in the sun, I think I would pick none. I would pick no vampire power. But if I just have vampire power, I guess I would, huh, I guess I would say flight, you know? But, like, you kinda turn into a bat.
You
You
could
could
have
just said,
just said
you could have
compulsion.
said
compulsion.
compulsion, not
Compulsion.
seduction. But that's what it is. It
Not
is
It is. It's
seduction at that
seduction.
point.
But can you
Hmm.
follow up with the question we asked you? Do we get
Yeah,
the
do we
side
do
effects
is
of
there the side
vampire?
We
effects,
get the
or is it
side
just
effects
like you get a vampire power?
because if we get the side effects, I'm picking shapeshifting.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I was going shapeshifting. It was just
Oh,
easier.
yeah, I guess shape-shifting would kind of fall in the line with the flight because, like, he turns into a bat and he turns into a wolf.
Yeah.
And
Um,
that's just what we know. There might be other incarnations where they turned into
can
other things. Like
can
I don't know.
vampires fly without turning into a bat, or do they have to turn into a bat?
There's
It's
other is up the it's
Like, it's
debatable
a blurry line.
because
it's a very fine line.
yeah, because there's so many like
Okay, he said
Okay,
we
yeah,
get the
you
side
definitely get
effects.
the side
I'm picking
effects.
shapeshifting.
shapeshifting definitely. See how easy that was?
I don't want any of them.
Now, if you would
But
say
so you get all of the
vampire
side
or
effects.
werewolf, that is the real choice. Because I
Hmm.
know Crispy, he's going to be a werewolf.
Werewolf.
I think I would pick a vampire if I didn't die in the sun. I think I would pick those powers. Because a
You're like,
werewolf,
I'm
you have no control. You're just a fucking monster, fucking wolf thing. Has no, you just have no
and that's what I
composure.
call
You're
one of
just fucking
you.
ripping apart animals and just like you're mindless. Like I don't want to be
That's
that. I think with a vampire, you're at least in control of what you know
that's why
what's
I got
going
you.
on.
That's
What
why I got one
vampire
of you
is.
vampire guys to be on the sideline and be like, all right, then put me somewhere I shouldn't be, not attacking
Yeah,
people.
but then you probably would just attack us. You wouldn't even know who we are. So like you
If you
would
give me
just like
one good
be on
clock,
no
what
But
the
one's
see,
hell?
team.
that's when we call in Gary Busey with the silver bullet.
Another
Yeah.
one of my bad choices. Thanks.
That wasn't a terrible one. I
That
actually
wasn't a
kinda
bad
enjoyed
one. It
that
was
Okay.
one.
fun.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
And that's
That
one of
was
Gary
probably
Busey's better movies.
yeah, Gary Busey's I heard he's a terrible person. So, like, not
Yeah, I've
not a
heard
good
very
Oh,
person.
negative things about him from people that have done
Yeah,
business with him.
same. Um,
that's
yeah,
what
I
I'm talking
guess
about vampire
I don't know, the
university.
seduction and, like, I don't know, the side effects are kinda throwing me off, so, like, I don't know what to pick now.
Let's try you confuse the
I guess
man
I
without
guess
confusing him.
no, I guess the seduction. I think Jerry's right. I think that one's probably the best one because then you could kind of control anyone to do whatever you want. Like you could go to a bank teller and go like, "Give me your money," and do the Bela Lugosi look, and then like he just gives you the money. All you gotta do is get a witch to make you a daylight ring so you can walk in the sun. You just always gotta wear it.
Okay,
Okay,
let's
where do
try.
you
But
find a
see,
witch?
Do you
but
know
see,
what?
making a deal with a witch is worse, almost on par with making a
Yeah,
deal
then
with the
she
devil.
that's
Yeah,
basically the same thing because she probably gives you a ring and then she controls you, and then she
Yeah,
uses your powers for her own benefit.
I can
So you're
hear
fucked.
I'm sorry, I can hear Latrey because we talked to him so much in the background, just talking like you guys just don't understand.
I can hear him. He's like,
Oh,
no, 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 no. See,
yeah,
this is what I
I'm
really mean.
yeah, I can
I'm
hear
thinking
him
about the
like
logistics of
debating with
everything,
us.
I don't
Yeah,
I don't wanna just
like I
mindlessly
would
yes
still
stuff.
pick the seduction, but since I'm getting the side effects, I want shapeshifting just for the sheer ability to get out of the sunlight as quick as possible.
Hmm.
Can you shapeshift into another person?
That's a good
Just
question.
I mean, people are animals, so I would
True.
assume so. I could just shapeshift into Usain Bolt and just take off,
yeah, just
do a
you could just
100-meter
be
dash in 40 seconds.
Hey man.
I could, like, change my ethnicity and stuff. I could that would be
Yeah,
that'd be very
we could be
interesting.
Canadian.
Yeah. We could have half a head, like, just talk like that.
Oh God, South Park.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just
you
yeah,
ready
I'm
to
just gonna
close us
stick.
out,
I don't
Josh?
Yeah, I think that was a fun exercise. I like that. Thank you for the
Thank you,
exercise,
Latrey.
Latrey.
This was
That was
very
cool.
fun.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
yeah.
Before we
What?
close out, my picks have not changed. It's still the first Alien and then Alien Isolation, the digital series. It's on YouTube on IGN's YouTube page. And I saw it was that each episode was like 8 to 10 minutes. So I figured we could do the first and the second. So that way it's like a full length episode.
Okay.
Okay.
And that'll be the short, or it'll
Yeah,
be
that'll be the
the
short.
Alien Resurgence?
It's weird because it's named after a game.
It is a game.
Yeah, I
It's-
remember that being like a video game.
But I'll send you guys the links to everything.
Okay. No, Alien would be cool. That's actually a movie like I've seen, but I haven't like
dove into
really
it.
watched it. If that makes sense. Like
I
I've seen
have
the
the
movie, but
box
haven't
set on
really
Blu-ray. I've watched
it.
them. I've watched all of them at
I'm trying to
least 4
think.
times. I love Alien.
That's
I
cool.
think it's cool.
Have I seen
I definitely
all of
wish it
them?
was a part of the 1930s, monster generation. But it's up there with Predator, which is also still really good.
Predator's great. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be cool. So all right, we're gonna close this episode. 3, 2, 1. This is Josh sending you off up and away until next BatYard's finest episode.
And this Superman's pal Matt. And
I'm Jerry, guiding you all with Green Lantern's light, and we're becoming super pals one episode at a time.
I bid thee welcome.
Bye. Good night.
God.
See ya.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Guys.